What is up, Last Rifters? This is Dogman here with Laster Flabs. Today we're going to show you how to make a random item granter, which you can see here. You hold this button and it will grant us a random weapon, and it should be displaying the name up there as you can see. So yes, every time you press this button, it's going to give you a random weapon, and it's going to display the name properly up there. So let's check out how we did this. To get started, we are going to go into our UEFN here, and I'll just show you what this thing is made of. I did create a new device here, so this is a new custom created device. So as you know, to do that, you go to your Verse Explorer, right click here wherever your file is, and create a new verse file. Then once you have your new verse file, you can pull up whatever text editing software you use. I use Visual Studio Code, is my favorite. So you can pull up whatever code editor you're using, and you can hop right in. So this random weapons box is not as complicated as you might think. All it is an array of these weapons that we've created. We've created a custom class called weapon entries, and that's built up of a variable called weapon here, which is an item granter device, and a variable called display name, which is a string. We left that empty to start. Both of these are editable properties, so we can access them from our visual editor in UEFN. And then yes, in our random box, so this random box class is actually going to be our random device class. All we did was we created an editable array of those weapon entries. So this is an array made out of this weapon entry class that we created. So again, it's an array of these custom objects, which both have an item granter and a string in them. Other than that, in this class, the only two editable objects beyond that are going to be a button, which is just a conditional button device, one of Fortnite's built-in devices, and a billboard device that we use to display the text. So on begin, this is the first function that's called of every single one. We're going to just call two different things. I'm not sure if we need suspense there, but we're just going to call two different things. First of all, we're just going to subscribe to the button pressed event on the button activated event. So that means every time the conditional button is pressed, we are going to call this on button press function. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to get the play space, and we're just going to listen for a player added event. That way, if any player joins late, we can also go ahead and subscribe them to the set a new player function. So the set a new player function just does this again and subscribes the button again for each player, because we want to grant the object to every individual player and not to every player. So yes, our on button press function is pretty easy. If the weapons list is empty, all we're going to do is we're just going to print this statement and just return nothing. But if we have put some stuff in our weapons list, then we're going to, when we press the button, we're going to shuffle our list, and then we are going to see the first item in that array. So this is our, as you know, with coding, arrays start with the number 0, not with the number 1. So we're going to pull up that first item. And because we created this custom class that has both a display name and a item granter, we can access both those things. So we're going to set our billboard, which is our visual display. Again, that's one of Fortnite's built-in creative devices. We're going to set our billboard, set the text of that billboard to our display name. But I would just mind you that, yes, Fortnite and billboards are kind of strange. They take in messages, they don't take in strings. So we just had to write this handy function, which is called string to message, which localizes the text, but it also takes in a string here, and then it just returns that string as a message. So all we're doing here is we're getting the display name string of our random weapon here. After we shuffle it, we're getting the display name string of our random weapon, and then we're going to convert that string to a message, and then we're going to set the billboard text to that display name. Other than that, we're just going to grant the item in question to the agent, And we're just going to have a print statement to make sure everything went perfect. So as you can see, this is a very, very simple class. There's not too much going on. It does work with our other classes and the pre-existing Fortnite devices. But yes, this is a very simple class, and it's what you need to grant your player a random weapon. So if we take a look at what that looks like in practice, when we go here and we compile our verse code, if we go to our outliner, after this loads, and we go to our random box class, which we've dragged and dropped already. It is right here. We do have all these exposed variables. We have our weapons entry index, which is an array, and I add these 3 elements to that array. You can see in those elements, if you expand them further, we have the weapon, which is a grantor device, and then we have the display name, which is a string that I just typed in here. Same is true with the other 2 weapons. Other than that, we have the exposed button, which we use this conditional button right here. I just named it random weapons button. And we have our billboard with our billboard text, which I just named random billboard. And it's blank to start. It just says sample text to start. But again, we are updating that via code when we call this function. So let's see what this looks like in game here. So you can see when the game starts, we can run up to our conditional button here. It only takes 1 coin. When we grant it, we grant our random object, which is an assault rifle. And as you can see right there, it does say assault rifle as per that string. So if we do it again, we'll get another random item here. Grenade launcher. And as you can see, it does say grenade launcher. So this is how you create a simple random weapon box class. There's nothing too complicated here. Should be easy to implement for a variety of things. You can create any array with this, and you can grant a player a random item out of the array. You can define it as much as you want or as little as you want. I hope this was helpful, and yes, continue on this journey with us to see how we build out this zombie game in completion. If you have any suggestions of videos you would like to see, please drop them in the comments and we'd be happy to make those. But yes, I hope you are able to utilize this random weapons box system. Thanks.